Welcome everyone to Rewinding Founders, a show where we talk to founders and entrepreneurs openly and honestly about their very early days, so everyone can see what it's actually like to start something new. Today we have Eldar with us. Eldar is the CTO of Elements, a climatech company. Okay, so let's dive right in. Eldar, you're one of the founders of Elements. And first of all, I'd like to hear, how did you even get started in entrepreneurship?
Oh, wow. Diving
Yeah,
right in.
straight in.
Yeah, so I'm the CTO and co-founder of Elements. My co-founder, his name is Edo Perry. He's the CEO. Now he's on San Francisco doing the sales, and I'm here in Israel doing everything else, basically, managing the R&D, the product side. How did I start entrepreneurship? I think it's been always in my blood as part of my personality. I was an activist. I always created initiatives. I almost founded a nonprofit, and it was always clear to me I'm going to be a founder of a startup. And nowadays, after facing climate and the climate change affects. So it was clear to me a year and a half ago I need to do something about it. And after have a knowledge and experience of decade in software and experience working in software companies, it was clear to me this is my path and I need to do something about it.
Amazing. And how did you get to this specific, like, why this?
Do you mean why climate tech, why elements itself?
I guess both.
Both. So, as I said, I started my entrepreneurship journey by looking and ideating through food tech sector. I'm a vegan for almost a decade now, and I looked for solutions and problems that software can solve. I didn't find any good business plan in the food tech sector, B2B software solution. I didn't find any money opportunity, any business opportunity. So I moved the second important thing to me, which was, of course, climate. I'm suffering from climate. I'm a mountaineer, and every time I go to the mountains from year to year to France, I can see the mountains changing, the glaciers melting, and it just breaks my heart. So that's how I got into climate tech. About Elements, so Elements is a software platform that helps companies measure and reduce their carbon emissions attributed to their employees, everything from day-to-day commuting, business travel emissions, and even teleworking, working from home, electrical usage eventually emit carbon emissions. So we help measure and reduce that. And by doing so, we help companies saving operational costs, forgot the word, but saving operational costs and standing with today regulation in the United States and Europe. So basically my co-founder, he was an ex-employee of Apple and he worked in the sustainability team. He saw the opportunity to help companies measure and reduce those emissions as an outsource platform dedicated to do so. And so after teaming up, we ideated a bit, saw the problems, talked with chief sustainability officers all over the world, especially in the United States, in California, understanding better the problems and navigating the product, shifting and pivoting the product and the solution in the past year to do what Elements do today, plus today.
Cool. Was that the original idea when you started working together? Did you have any
No,
pivots?
no, that's a good question. So the first idea was to provide a B2C a product that helps private people, consumers to measure and give tips and reduce their emissions. But after it's pretty clear now for everyone that no one's going to pay for a nice to have application or platform or like there's this very small bit in the population that will be willing to pay for that, and that's not this is not the best solution to do so and to approach and tackle that problem. So we started as a B2C. We developed there was a part we developed a mobile application, and after pivoting with companies, and we moved to B2B to serve companies, and after pivoting with some of them, we also left the mobile application aside for further down the line, and focused only on web application, browser application.
Cool. What made you understand that the the real deal is not in the app?
So there's a thing in entrepreneurship in companies that's called the North Star metric, to see what is the one trait property, that we keep looking, and if that number goes up, it means we success, we're achieving our goals. And we saw that we only care about the weekly active users of the mobile applications while doing the pivots. And if this is the most important thing we're looking at, which is, by the way, doesn't help to tackle climate change and doesn't help save money to the companies and to our clients, it's not that the employees that doesn't even pay us. It was mobile application for the employees. So if we're only trying to achieve a more weekly active user for the app, we're not doing anything that is meaningful. We're not serving our purpose. We're not giving any value.
Was there a point in which you were saying, okay, this is not it, or was it more gradual?
It was more gradual, but it was like in a startup, the advantage of a startup, unlike corporates, that you always move fast. So it's kind of both. It can be a 2 weeks, like 2 weeks wisdom, 2 weeks of experience to understand, okay, there's something we can improve here. This is not what we're aiming to. This is, this distracts us from giving value to our customers.
How did you meet your co-founder?
Okay. So Edo and I met after I transitioned from the food tech sector to the climate tech. A lot of people, I advised and talked with many people, and everybody told me I need to speak with that guy named Edo. It's very strange. It's Edo with an E, and in Hebrew, you write Edo with an I. You pronounce it Ido. So it was very interesting and very curious. I was very curious at the beginning, and we
Uh-huh.
hop on a Zoom call, and we discovered that both of us are vegan, both of us are skippers, and we both have a nice hair, and he's the same age as I, and we had a really good conversation. He helped me and connected me to many people in the industry, in the climate industry. And then I went to my own journey, ideating, meeting people, meeting potential other co-founders. I got accepted to programs for climate tech entrepreneurs here in Israel. And after a couple of months, we've met again. His idea got ripe more, and he's looking for a co-founder. He pitched me. I liked the idea. We set together a couple more meetings, and we fell in the business partnership love.
Amazing. How long did it take from first a moment of this is an idea we have to okay, we're full in, this is what we're doing?
So I think we we move really fast. We got clients that wants to try our product really really quickly, like in a matter of a couple of weeks to a month. And once you're starting to serve a customer, or pivot, or a design partner, doesn't matter. When you start serving someone outside of your organization, you're fully into it. So it was pretty quickly from the idea phase and the validation to be a true co-founder, giving a true value and meaning to your customers, to your clients.
Amazing. How did you do that like the jump from okay, we're starting something out to actually getting your first customers or first partners?
So it's always a good thing to keep in touch with the climate community. Not here in Israel, by the way. We also based in the United States, in the West Coast, in California, in San Francisco. I'm planning to move there soon, and my co-founder lives there now. So we had and talked during the validation phase, in the ideation, we already had connections with chief sustainability officers, with sustainability teams, with other entrepreneurs in the ecosystem, and with other players that just serves and care about climate. So it was I wouldn't say it was very easy, but it's really helpful having connections and helping even others. We've founded, my co-founder founded the biggest WhatsApp group in Israel regarding climatech job opportunities. People join the group seeking for job, offering jobs. Me myself, I'm doing events about climate job. I was in the IDF. I did cybersecurity in my military service, and I do events for the graduates from the IDF who do software regarding climate tech opportunities. How can be they helpful? So we are based in the community and establish, let's say, the brand of the entrepreneurs by ourselves. And it's very easy to again, it's not very easy, I'm sorry. um, you can get connected to potential design partners, clients, because they hear about you. Companies approaches us asking about our solution.
Amazing. And what were you doing before you did this? Before the project started, you said you had a background in software. How did that go?
Yeah. So the basic resume is I served my country for 6.5 years, and after that I've worked as a software engineer in a software startup here in Israel, based in Tel Aviv. I was working there for a year and a half. It was an amazing company. I learned a lot about how to manage people, how to build a vision, how to build organization from almost scratch to something that gets bigger and better. And after a year and a half, I decided that now is my time and I'm ready for. I thought I was ready. How wrong was I?
How naive.
How naive! But back then, I thought I was ready enough to found a startup by myself and did a leap of faith.
I once heard someone say that the only reason people do start startups is being naive, because if you weren't naive, you wouldn't have put yourself through it.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
Amazing. Is there a well, is there a specific challenge that you feel like you had to face being a founder that you didn't expect would be a challenge?
Wow, just one.
Give me the top two.
I mean, there are a lot of cliche, like it's not cliches, but what everything says about the letting things go, things that were important for you in the past. You need like let go of hobbies, some of your connections, and you're getting much less free time to spend with your family and friends and your hobbies. And you need to prioritize in order to succeed. You need to prioritize the startup at first. We say elements first, and because we truly believe in it. And that's why I also chose climate tech, because every day I get up in the morning, I know I'm working towards something that is important and I believe in, and can make a change in the world for the better. So I would say again, one problem is you need, and I have a lot of hobbies and a lot of things I love to do. I'm a skipper, I'm a mountaineer, I play music, I dance, but much less now. I put everything aside in order to do, and order to be an entrepreneur. I would say also, like I think it's also a very good tip that people don't talk about is putting the ego aside. It's also a gift you're getting from being an entrepreneur. People, especially Israelis, ego is something that is very important to us. Respect. In the world of today of social media and LinkedIn, where when you're always trying to pop out of, like, talk about the things you do and speak and participate in cool podcasts like this one. You also need to say no to some of those opportunities, and to face the fact that this this doesn't matter. This won't, it's not about participating and speaking in as many as events as you can. It's not that important, like spend time building your organization and company and finding the product market fit. So you need to put the ego aside, not to try to achieve and pursue after achievements, to know how to hear no, right? Hear a no, and don't keep a grudge inside of you, because everything here, it's almost like karma, because if someone says no and you understand it in a polite way, because eventually it's very understandable why people won't believe, won't buy what you're trying to sell. Eventually it happens. So don't keep a grudge against them, because eventually we keep helping investors who declined us. We keep helping companies who didn't want to use our product, and eventually they connect us to someone who does. And I think putting the ego aside is something that is very, very important.
How do you balance out, on the one hand, you talked a lot about community and meeting people and staying connected, and on the other hand, the actual practical work of creating a product and growing it?
That's a great question. I don't think I have enough experience. Like, I didn't crack the solution yet. But I would say there's no secret formula, right? I think splitting the job and like going to events with your co-founder is very important. You don't need to go together for every event, for every opportunity there is, and you also need always to ask yourself, am I doing this for the company or am I doing it for myself? I think this could be a really good guideline.
Interesting. When you say doing it, I'm assuming when you ask doing it for the company or for yourself, if the answer is the company, you go.
Yeah, but it's also good to do things for yourself as
Yeah,
well. You just need to be aware of your decision making. Why am I doing it? To who am I doing it for? It's good to do things for yourself. You need to, it's a very hard journey. You know, by yourself, it's a very entrepreneurship. It's a very hard journey. You need to find the things that make you excited and keep your fire lit up. You need to find those things and maximizing in it. So every time you're, because the problems keep coming, right? I'm sorry for my French, but the shit keep coming always. And you need the strength. You need the, if it's your co-founder and if it's the things that makes you happy, some of your friends, some of your family, go running, doing yoga, whatever it is. You need to take care of yourself.
absolutely. Did you have any like moments along the journey where you were thinking this is not happening? I can't, like something went bad and you didn't know what the next step was.
Again, every problem has a solution, and but there are problems that are more harder to solve, and maybe solutions aren't what you hope for. Letting people go isn't very nice. It's something that you won't hoping to do so. Getting a no after a really long due diligence with investors, it's also something. I wouldn't say the world breaks apart, but once you start imagining and taste the like the next step, and you're preparing and you say, okay, this is going to happen, and then you face like the other scenario of hearing a no, or not getting an investment that you thought you were going to get, that sucks. And you need to know how to grab everything together and keep running and leave it behind.
And on the complete contrary side, was there a moment of like some small win that might seem small to someone from the outside, but to you it was like, whoa, like this is a sign we're going in the right direction. This is something, wow.
Well, I think I feel this every couple of days. Yeah, knock on wood, or but it's amazing the journey elements have been through over the year. Every pivot we make, I love pivoting very much. Like I think every pivot or change or changing I wouldn't say maybe pivot may sounds very major, but changing the way of thought or even phrasing the solution in other words, seeing that we've learned, we've become smart, we became smarter, and we're passing obstacles that in the past seemed like very frightening for us. So every time I can stop and think, wow, where have we been in the last month and where are we now? It's sort of a small win, and it may, as you said, it may look very small. Okay, so you launched a product, so what? But for us, it's finally
Woo!
here. Woo! Yeah.
Cool. Is there something you remember that you did or your co-founder did, like something weird or crazy to get a client or get an investor, something of the sort? I like the face.
Uh,
Something that you can tell us at this point.
yeah, of course. Uh, I would say that it takes me back to speaking about ego and putting your self-esteem aside. You're going to escort a lot of people to elevators or their car, and doesn't feel like very respectful behavior to like to face. But as part of the resilience and the grit you need to show as an entrepreneur. I've escorted many people to the elevator, and they were like in their phone, and I'm trying to pitch and get their attention, or even their their email to have a follow up, or sending the deck. You need to swallow that pill.
How do you feel that being a founder helped you grow in like the more personal sense, like what you can and can't do within yourself?
Wow. So I think I can do anything now after being an entrepreneur. You're going in a path of the unknown to the unknown with changing changing the strategy all the time, facing with problems every day on a daily basis, unsure of your financial future and and you need to face all of that every day, and to develop skills that will help me build future projects, to have to build relationships with people I want to approach to. And yeah, I think entrepreneurship and building and founding a startup helps you to um, get a better perspective about the world and the people in it. So
In what sense?
that everybody are human beings, and everybody are scares, and everybody have dreams, and there are no gods here walking among us. Everybody want to help others. Everybody want to feel secured. And I've talked with people that at the first time I've talked with them was like a year ago, or even more than a year. I was very frightening to, oh my God, he answered me, she answered me. I'm going to speak with them. I need to be ready for the conversation, which is very important to know the other people, other person you're going to meet, and to have the to write the targets and what do I want to get from him or her. But nowadays I look at people and I'm less excited because I understand the other side. I'm less nervous about it, because it's under I take things in the right perspective, I think.
I think there's a big journey of like expansion of the first time you do something, it's so scary and you're like, I can't talk to them, blah blah. And then if you had to do it again, it's not even like you don't sweat about it. Next question. What did you found out about entrepreneurship in general that surprised you, that you weren't expecting?
In general, okay, maybe it, it just it relates to what you've just said about the first time doing something and the second time. I think entrepreneurship is the hardest thing. Building a startup is one of the hardest thing, if not the hardest thing I've done in my life. But at the same time, I think it can be, and that surprised me. It can be after you learn things and learn and pass another obstacle. I see how it can be done easily. I think it can be easy if you have the right mentors and you have the experience and you have the resilience and you have the personal experience, like doing it by yourself, doing a thing like you've said, and the second time can be way more easy. That surprises me because sometimes I look, I hear about a solution, another solution, or another opportunity to found another startup, and I think to myself, yeah, I can. It can be done easily. All I need to do is to talk with one, two, three, and do X, Y, Z, and I'll be in a very, very good place.
Which is not where you were when you started, I would assume.
Yeah, I knew I was naive. That's what we said. I was naive. I thought, yeah, like the money will pour down on me, and I have it's the right time, and I don't have a wife and children. I'm all dedicated to founding a startup. I'll also mention that the problems change, right? It's still hard. It's not easy. We still suffer problems and obstacles, but as long as I have this amazing co-founder and the amazing team of elements and our advisory board and our investors, I have a lot of faith and confidence in what we're doing and the way we do it.
Do you feel like being an entrepreneur affected existing relationships you had in your life? And do you feel like the people changed since before and after? Did you find yourself gravitating towards new people, or do you feel like maybe you've made a lot of connections, but the people who are core to you kind of stay the same?
That's a really good question. It's kind of both. Like I have friends that unfortunately I meet them in a less frequency from time to time or not at all since I've starting to be and since I started to be an entrepreneur, because again it's I don't have the time, and I met a lot of new people in this journey, other entrepreneurs and people from the climatech sector in Israel and abroad, people from gatherings and events. I've made new friends, which is also very cool to get to know a lot of people, which is one of the perks of being an entrepreneur. You suddenly have the opportunity to meet and get to know other people that suffers from the same problems as you. And I think it's also very good. It's very important for each of us to know at least of a couple of entrepreneurs that at the same stage like you, to understand better, to talk with someone that understands you, because the friends I have before the entrepreneurship from my hometown and from the last job, they don't fully understand what I'm doing and what I'm suffering in each moment, each day. And so yeah, you some of the friends, unfortunately, I wouldn't say let go, but you won't see them at least for a couple of years, and you meet new people, new friends, but there are no time for friends all. Yeah.
Interesting. Like, I'm thinking what you just said is interesting because the fact that people who are outside entrepreneurship sometimes not only don't completely understand the struggle, but also don't understand why would you, like, why would you leave a safe job that was paying well, that you can like grow in that way? Did you ever get any like people, let's call it, challenging your decisions, people who were not, who were acting in their minds in your best interest but weren't really aligned to how you were seeing things?
Yeah, yeah, all the time.
I love
I'll,
that you.
yeah, I'll start with the first lady in my life, my mother. She always doubts. I had a really good job being a software engineer in a company. I was in the golden cage. So my mother always questioning, why do I keep doing it? Why did I go out from the comfort zone? And also the friends. There's a lot of criticism A lot of doubters. There are a lot of doubt. Some of also of my friends don't believe in the idea and what we're doing, and that's okay. It's okay to have criticism, and I think it's maybe it's me personally, but I get a lot of drive when I hear people doubting my beliefs and doubting my way and doubting, like, calling me crazy. That only drives me. So keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
Yeah.
Why do you think you are that way?
I don't know. Maybe it's just the way I am. It's the way I've always have been. I always looked and searched for doing something special. Always aim towards leadership. Always aim towards initiate like doing initiatives. Since I was a little child in elementary school to projects in the army, mountain expeditions like mountaineering. I always search for developing and constructing.
What does your day to day life now look like?
So yeah, working, meetings, and working again, and sometimes you even get the opportunity to sleep. We have an R&D team here and in Europe, and I manage them. I give them tasks and like review their code, and alongside that, keeping building the product. How does it look? Does it serve any value? Does it let us to measure the North Star metric? There's always a new research, always a research you need to do regarding regulations, regarding how to measure better emissions. How can I add technology to it? How can I train what data science algorithms are out there to help me measure better, how to train AI models better to measure in more precision. Always reading, always talking with people to asking for help. It's not a shame. It's only opportunity. Ask other people can save me a lot of time just by reading and trying to learn by myself, which is also a part of also related to the ego part. Asking for help is not a shame. It's opportunity. It's a skill. Always cycling between writing code, reviewing, reading, and understanding what the clients need. Talking with my co-founder who does the sales and marketing there in San Francisco, in the West Coast in the United States. And sometimes I go to meetings with him, and because the investors and clients are 10 hours behind me or after me, it makes me work late at nights and have meetings late at nights. So always shuffling between changing hats. Yeah,
As a startup founder does.
as a startup founder does.
Cool. How did your communication with Edo change throughout starting to work together and to where you are now?
Well, it was very important to us to first base our friendship when we started to run together. So we've went to Sinai together. We've called it to founders. We hung up a lot together to see that we were first of all good friends and we communicate. Communication is very important in every relationship in your life, and of course with your work wife, which is my co-founder, of course. So it was very important to us to base this relationship at the beginning. We based it so well, so we
Did it
felt
change at
comfortable.
all?
Did it change? Of course, we learned how to communicate better. We had arguments. We have a lot of arguments. Of course, it's very healthy.
How do
And
you solve them when you have different opinions, when you're thinking different things?
so I think understanding the role of each one of us. First of all, put the ego aside and take nothing personally. Both of us and all of the company, all of the employees, all our all interests are aim to the succession of elements. And if I can get mad in a conversation and I stop for a second and say, hey, he doesn't say or think like that because he wants to hurt me or he hates me. He just wants the best interest for the company. I also am founding and managing, and this thought is very relaxing. Like it gives perspective and sense to accept the other's opinion. And but it's a hard work. Yeah, it's something that I've personally worked on, and to understand my co-founder better and to communicate better. We both come from different families and different places, and we communicate differently. And but after a couple of months, things became much more better. It always was better, but the arguments, I mean, went smoother. How do you make decisions? Put the ego aside and have the work roles. I know I have I trust in my co-founder with everything related to managing the company, having sales, understanding the people we're trying to sell to, and marketing. This is his field of expertise. My field of expertise can be the product and the tech, and he trusts blindly me. And I think having roles and to know that okay, you can think, you can express your thoughts, but eventually one of us need to make the call, need to make the decision.
So you each kind of have the hat that you're like you both know where is each person's place to make the decision.
Yeah,
Cool.
where my field ends and where his starts. And yeah, thank God we don't have a lot of disagreements. We see eye to eye in many things.
Amazing. What do you think are some qualities that are really important for a startup founder to have?
Well, being a vegan and the skipper helped me. Uh,
Ah, vegan also only.
I would say um, grit and resilience. I think problems don't stop coming every day, and after you think you've managed to solve everything, another thing pops up. It can be the lawyers, it can be financial problems, it can be the product, the tech, something you've built. You need to change and refactor it right now, and you're and everybody, I wouldn't say blame you, but the fingers points it at you to decide and to set where the ship needs to sail now. And you need a lot of guts and a lot of power to I would say it's simple. Like I think at our position, like we're one of 1,000 startups that still exists. Like I mean, 999 startups that past our journey would have been closed by now because there are a lot of problems, and you need to be communicative with your co-founder and resilient and smart. I would say smart. It's also very important that the entrepreneur would be a smart person. I'm not saying I'm smart. Like I'm not like not a more in the emotional maybe way. No, to understand. It also depends which type of entrepreneur. Like what's your role in the company. For CEOs, you need to be a people person. You know how to read people. By that I meant smart. Ido is smart. Ido is very smart. I'm not. I'm lucky. I'm just lucky. And how to read people, how to sell, how to pitch, how to navigate, how um to pivot if necessary. For CTOs like me, you need to understand the tech better. You need to ask questions a lot, advise with people about the right tech stack, and etc. etc. There's always new technology coming up every day. Like it doesn't I don't have time to understand all the new tech. So sometimes I just need to make a decision and go with it. That's part of their resilience.
Amazing. Two last questions. One, what is one thing? Yeah, I'll ask them in the different order. What is one weird skill you wish you had?
Weird skill.
It doesn't have to be that weird, but like a skill that you're like, ah, this would really help.
I wish I didn't have to sleep at all. It's a lot of time. Sometimes I wish I had that time to do other things. I wish I wouldn't need to sleep at all. Another weird skill.
I feel like you have a lot of skills, so you don't need to wish for any. And last thing, what would you tell yourself of the beginning of the journey?
What would I tell myself to
Of the
Eldar a year and a half
Yeah,
ago now?
yes, Eldar, who was just listening to Ido's pitch and thinking and
Good luck, mate.
Yala, akhi.
Yeah, you did it. I would say I think I saw many entrepreneurs during what do they trying to maximize. Some people in the beginning of their journey trying to find a problem to solve. First of all, I want to find a problem. Some people trying to understand the industry as better, being a really experienced about the industry, know everything. Some people trying to focus only trying to find co-founder, and some people focus only on meeting new people and trying to make connections. Um, so I would advise myself in the beginning, focus more on the people side, getting to know people. I've met my co-founder through a connection, and I'm very grateful for it. And in the beginning, I did kind of trying to do all of them. I made events about climatech. I founded a community. I read about opportunities in the climate, in the energy sector, in the insurance, in the climate insurance sector. A lot of fields inside the climate tech. Although I didn't had any choice or passion about any of them in particular. I knew I wanted to do a software startup in climate tech, and I wanted it to be big. And
Only two goals. That's it.
really, software, climate tech, and
Oh,
big.
okay.
No, yeah. Um,
When you
and
say I knew, how far back do you go with that knowing?
I think from when I was a teenager, I want to build a startup. I want to manage a startup and found one. And but when 2 years ago, when I decided, okay, I'm going for it, I'm ready. And the naive thought, things have changed inside in the brain, the way of thinking. So when I said I knew, I think basically 2 years ago when I considered it. Seriously, but the best thing I do in my way before co-founding Elements is to meet people and get to know myself inside the community here in Israel. Also, here in Israel, there is a very strong community of entrepreneurs in general and climate tech entrepreneurs in particular. I know also climate tech is very successful and rising in California as well, and also in the UK. So knowing people from those areas always going it's only going to help you in the future. And studying and learning about climate tech and opportunities and let's check this ideation. It's also very hard to do it alone. I would prioritize finding a co-founding before ideating and validating a problem and a solution, unless you're expertise in that field. I mean, if you're an electrical engineer and worked with engines and motors on, I don't know, PVs, for example, and solar panels. So you can try to ideate and validate. You probably have already a problem you want to solve and a solution. So you can go quit your job and starting your entrepreneurship journey. But if you don't have any something solid, go to the people, go outside, meet people, talk, and learn from them.
Amazing. Thank you so much. That was so interesting. And just hearing how open you are about the fact that it's a growth journey and you don't really arrive knowing everything, I think is really important for people to hear that, like, it will be scary the first time, and everything is. And thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you. I still don't know. I know nothing. I'm still learning and I'm still in a growing phase. I still have a lot of struggles and people like you and the friends and people that back me up. It what that gives me the power.